Hey, hi to ho, and welcome to the thing ran by the guy who's got no idea what he's doing. And, Halloween's coming up. It's right around the corner, or the spooky season, as the kids like to call it. And I just kind of want to, talk about those things that messed me up as a kid, because, why not? The childhood trauma stuff, because I always enjoy these videos, and I think it'd be fun to talk about it. So, I'm just going to fast forward through the opening of this thing. Thank you for watching, and let's just start talking. And the first thing I really want to talk about is this show called Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. If you've never seen it, it was an old show from like the late 90s, early 2000s, and the basic premise was you had like 5 stories about like different paranormal, supernatural, higher being, weird coincidence things that, some were based on, quote unquote true first-hand accounts, and others were just completely made up by the writers. And the whole point was you were supposed to figure out which ones were true and which ones weren't, and at the end of the show they would tell you. And there's one episode in particular that just messed me up. The whole premise of the episode was it was supposed to be scary stories, and this particular story was a family had just bought a house and moved into it, and they were all seeing this creepy white face with red eyes that's comedically not scary now, but for some reason when I was a kid it traumatized me. It really just I had nightmares about it for weeks. And I remember the actual episode itself, it was a mom, dad, the kid, and they had I think it was their grandmother living with them. And they had all seen this ghost around the house, and I'm pretty sure they revealed it was the ghost of a killer that lived in the house or something. I don't remember why it was there. But the episode ended with, it was the grandma with these really badly post-effect red eyes glowing at the end. And it was just so creepy to me. It just freaked me out. And to add to it, by the end of the episode, when they were telling you which ones are true or not, this one was a true story. And I just had nightmares for days because of this, because it was just so freaky to me. Looking back, it's not scary at all. It's actually really, really funny because of the low quality effects. But I also recently found out this entire show is available on YouTube for free, so go give it a watch if the premise of the show sounds interesting to you. Another thing, quick little hot take, I hate clowns. I really do. I hate them with a burning passion. They are incredibly creepy to me. To this day, they still trigger a fight or flight response in me. And that's mostly because of Pennywise and Bozo the Clown. So the Pennywise thing is, back when this is honestly one of my earliest memories. I was 2 or 3 years old, and my mom took me to her friend's house, and I remember very specifically because her friend had this leopard print sofa, and it was just, the 90s were a weird time, but they had this leopard print sofa, and they thought I fell asleep on it, so they're like, oh well, we'll watch the TV movie It. And so they put it on, and all I remember seeing is the opening scene with Georgie talking to Pennywise in the sewer and getting dragged in, and it really scared me. I started screaming and crying because I was 2, and I've yet to watch the movie since then. I just refuse to do it. Fast forward a little bit, I'm still scared of clowns, and my brother, in his infinite wisdom, I think we're 5 and 6 or 6 and 7 at this point. He decides, he's going to help me out because he's a good big brother and help me get over this fear of clowns. And how does he do that? By making me watch Bozo the Clown, which was this sketch comedy show. If you've never seen what Bozo looks like, that's him right there. Yeah, he's pretty creepy looking. So that did not help it at all. It's just, no, honestly, he's even creepier than Pennywise. I still hate Bozo. This next thing is really weird, and I'm kind of not proud of it, but it comes from one of my favorite movies, and I just can't help but share it, because it comes from
The Amazing Spider-Man!
Now, I really like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy, and all three of them are still some of my favorite movies. Hell, I even watched the first movie the night before I recorded this. I loved them as a kid, love it now. But those opening credits of the first movie, I don't know why, they're just really freaky to me. Or they were. They just creeped me out. I don't know what it was about them. I don't know why, but I just couldn't hang with it. This movie has some really weird imagery in it, but like the opening credits specifically were just too much for me to handle, and I cannot tell you why. Now, if you're about my age, you're a mid-20-something-year-old Zoomer Doomer, you probably watched Courage the Cowardly Dog like I did, and it probably fucked you up, like it did to me. Hell, I'm pretty sure our entire generation was ruined by this show because it was baby's first horror, and it, just kind of roped everyone in. And, everyone was always freaked out by this.
Return the slab, or suffer my curse.
This.
Courage.
This.
You're not perfect.
Or this. But none of those really fazed me. I wasn't bothered by any of those, except for the last one. But it doesn't count because that was a jump scare. But the rest of them weren't a thing to me. I'm not trying to come off as big or macho or haha, I'm better than you, because I was freaked out by something way fucking dumber. No, the thing that really got me from Courage was the episode Windmill Vandals, which had a really simple plot. The windmill and the farm stopped working, which caused the ghost of Vikings to come and kill whoever lives on the land. It's honestly one of the more tamer episodes. It's really not that bad, but it's still just, I don't know, it just bothered me. I don't know if it was because, the whole episode's got this red hue around it. It's got this overly dramatic, just kind of depressing music. There's this massive sense of urgency. It might have been the decapitation, I'm not really sure. But I do remember for a fact that at the end of the episode, the windmill's spinning and it shows the special symbols that kept the Vikings at bay. And they turn into the old farmer that built the mill, and I don't know why, the way they present that, it's still just kind of creepy to me. It was freaky back then, and it's still just creepy right now. But you want to know what was not a scary show that really freaked me out? Futurama. No horror in that thing at all. In fact, it's more of just a heartbreaking depression fest. But it's a show I probably shouldn't have been watching when I was a kid, but it's whatever. I won't tell anyone if you don't tell anyone. And it was really the episode Insane in the Mainframe that just, it messed me up. The episode's plot is pretty simple. Bender and Fry are, falsely accused of robbing a bank and sent to a robot insane asylum. Bender has a lot of fun. Fry gets brainwashed into thinking he's a robot. And I remember the first time I saw this episode, it was at 2, 3 in the morning. And it was just really disturbing to me. I think it was because while I was watching this episode is when I gained consciousness. And I got to see the mental degradation of Fry at such a young age. And it just kind of really fucked me up as a kid. I actually just went and rewatched this episode a few months ago when I was binge watching the show, and it's still kind of bothering to see it. It's 2/3 of it is just Fry slowly going crazy. And I think the consciousness of watching it the first time is what just cemented this to me. But since I'm talking about shows I shouldn't have been watching when I was a child, I watched a lot of South Park as a kid. Yeah, that's also something that's not very scary, except for the episode Craig v. Tweek, which is one of the way, way older episodes from back in the day. Back before South Park was just about social commentary for the week, and it actually just kind of had random plots. And this one's plot was basically the kids were in wood shop, and, Cartman and Kenny think that Craig will beat up Tweak. Kyle and Stan think Tweak will beat up Craig, so they all, push to get them to fight each other. Which was like, whatever, that's just like a generic thing. The thing that really bothered me on this one was there's a whole subplot with the woodshop teacher who, he always tells kids not to screw around and anything. But it just randomly cuts to a like live action woman doing different things like making cookies.
I made you some cookies, Richard.
Being on a swing.
Swing me, Richard, swing me higher.
And crashing a plane and dying. And this was again another thing that first time I saw it was like 3 a.m. and it was just so out of left field, and I was not expecting it in any sense that it just horrified me. I think it's just the jarringness of, it just went from, the typical South Park animation style to live action woman screaming as a plane's crashing, and it just felt really, really uncanny and weird. I don't know how to explain it. It was just the random cuts and editing of this woman and the echo in her audio. It just freaked me out, It was one of those things where I was like, I actually had nightmares about this woman for a while. And this still isn't one of the better episodes of the show because that woman freaks me out so much. And the last thing I want to talk about, the piece de resistance. My whole childhood trauma, being fucked up by things, whatever you want to call it. The things that still bothers me to this day, I'm still terrified of. What is it? You may be wondering. It's porcelain dolls. They are fucking terrifying. I still don't like them. I still do not want to be in a room with them. Because my mom used to collect porcelain dolls. Like, I don't know why. I cannot tell you why. Just, they're creepy. Okay, they're super creepy dolls. And she would just collect them. And my dad didn't like these things either. So, he didn't want them in the house. So, we just stuffed them all in a closet. What closet did we put them in? We put them in my closet. In my bedroom. Guess whose bedroom closet didn't have a door? Mine. So guess who spent every night for like 5 years just having 500,000 little beady eyes staring at me all night? I did. And it didn't help that like I would see these eyes blinking and moving, and I'm pretty sure I wasn't imagining any of it. These things were possessed. And that is still probably one of the most messed up things to have ever happened in my life. I am still disturbed by these things. I still don't like being around them. And they never left my closet until we moved into a house that had a garage. And I don't know where that collection is now. Thank God. I think they lost it finally. So I could not stand those things. Alright, and that's going to do it for this one. If you made it this far, hey, thanks for sticking around for the video. If you liked it, hey, hit the like button. If you're new here, then why not subscribe and tell me what stuff scared you as a kid. Let me know some other stuff that'd be neat to talk about. Push the buttons, hit me up on Twitter. Alright, bye-bye. Love you.
I don't need a hit from you no more. I got no